let's get started. So I am very hopeful that this presents properly. And I'll give it a couple of minutes. And if it doesn't, then Jude's already got it ready. Just brilliant. Is it working?
It's working. Yeah, it's working. It's working.
Okay, that's good. Oh, there we go. Yay, you can see it. Okay, brilliant. So yeah, we're here again. So I did this one last month, and it turns out that Zoom decided to have a hissy fit. Deborah was so kind, and she like stepped in, and we tried, but actually it was a Zoom fault. So I said I'm going to definitely do this again because it's just a really lovely one to share, and hopefully gives those little gentle reminders of how we can use these so well, so effectively. And we'll share a few personal things on the way. Okay, so it's lovely to see you all. What to expect tonight? So what might we need to relax and soothe in our bodies? Maybe it's our mind, whatever we need. What is it that we're wanting to look after? Why we need to consider root causes and their importance, our experience as a family here, and then our quest for natural methods. And then briefly, I'm going to discuss essential oils in general. So their purity, transparency, a little bit about doTERRA, and some helpful applications to support us along the way. We're going to discover some soothing essential oils and some relaxing essential oils. They do a little bit different things depending on the chemical compounds that are in them. There'll be some practical recipes as well, and then some tips from personal experience. I'm going to share some success stories too, and then there is an exclusive offer that I thought I'd mention at the end, and I'll chat about the next class. Okay. So introducing me, my story is that I'm a person. I'm married. I'm a mum of two, and a few years ago we had been introduced to a new challenge in our life, which was a neurological condition that my husband has. So we had to try and navigate that. At the very beginning, it was a misdiagnosis, and what comes with it is many things, but one of the major things was pain, discomfort, muscle tension. The list can really go on. He also has movement disorders as well. So when we were dealing with this, initially, of course, the doctors were like, right, I'm going to give you medication. So he had to go through 5 different types of medication before they ended up saying, you're not responding very well to this. He was having severe reactions to it, and we just couldn't keep it up. The side effects just ended up making things an awful lot worse. In fact, now, after a year and a half of being off medication, he still has some of the side effects from some of the medications that he was on. Things like dry mouth, some extra issues movement-wise, or like with his the way that his brain signals would respond and work with pain receptors. It just caused a lot of crazy. So with that in mind, kind of about, I would say about 2.5 years ago, I started going, right, we're going to have to try something different. We're going to have to look for something more natural and see what we can find here. So we came across doTERRA. I joined a class just like this, and I was kind of mesmerized by the fact that they had so many physical benefits. I already knew about essential oils. I've been using them most of my life. I've been using them for green cleaning. I've been using them for calming, using them for sleep support and skin and everything like that. But I'd never really looked into the physical support it may be able to give, and thought, well, it's worth a try. So I got a little oil trial, and it was for Dan, and I thought, right, here we go. Let's just try it. £7, just try it. Honestly, 2 of them just kicked in right away. He really felt the difference. And it wasn't the first day, it was more the second day, third day. And we noticed in the bloodstream it's working, to the point now where we are 2.25 years down the line. And he thanks me for these oils. He thanks me for the fact that I found something that can support him. Now, it doesn't fix everything. That's going to be something we know in the future. We're going to find the perfect cure for that. But right now, it's something that just helps to alleviate the pressure. So that's just a little bit about us. We do have neurological conditions in our family. My mum actually had a neurological condition previously before she passed away. And so we've got this familiarity of how things can work and support. And then the research I've just been delving into over the last few years. So that's hopefully just gives you an idea of where we're coming from and understanding this journey is different for everybody, but there are solutions. So just have a little think about your own story. Now, I'm not sure how interactive this is, but if you're able, you might be able to press a button. It might actually allow you to vote.
To activate the
Oh, apparently I need to activate it. So how do I do that?
Okay, so
He's gonna tell me.
Okay. Just
how do I live activate this? You clever being.
Click on
Oh my goodness, there we go.
Click on start new session.
Thank you. Okay, so there you go. Apparently, you can press a button here and tell me, what would you like to feel more often? Would you like to feel less achy? Would you like to feel less stressy? Would you like to feel less tired or less uncomfortable? And I'm not sure if that works for you. Yes, just briefly. That's okay. Yeah, no problems. So I don't know if that's worked for you at all. Has it? Apparently there are boxes on the screen.
Yeah, what you have to do.
One says. This, I thought I'd try this for the first time. I thought, oh, let's just give this a go. And let's see.
Yeah, you see?
Okay, there's a little box. Why is there a box? There's no box there.
It's kind of weird. I don't know.
Okay, never mind. Pop it in the chat for me, please. Let me know what you would like to feel more often. Less achy, less stressy, less tired, and less uncomfortable. I'm going to have to tweak that one, aren't I? So I give that a little try. Right, so hopefully there's still a box there, and I don't understand because it shouldn't be there.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, more calm, absolutely. Can I stop sharing this then? Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that one. And that's something that I try to have as well. So I'm hoping that black box will disappear in a little bit. So thank you for letting me know. Yeah, let me know in the chat what are the things that you're hoping to feel less of. And here, let's consider the common issues and possible root causes of discomfort. So why are we feeling these things? Now, bearing in mind that some of these symptoms, such as muscle tension, tired feelings, digestive issues, they could be associated with a few of these categories. So it's definitely worth doing your own research, talking to your own doctor about them. But interestingly, I was able to deal with certain emotions, and it's really important to not just think about the symptoms that we're dealing with, but also what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening inside the body that may be causing them. So physical stress. Stress is a really frustrating cause and very commonly causing these issues. It could be causing muscle tension, aches. It could be, just making your neck really feeling achy. You could have head tension. Something I noticed recently in myself is that even rejection, the feeling of oh my, okay. So then we've got things like joint issues. So this could be caused by inflammation. We might have skin issues, inexplicable tired feelings. All of these things, they may be a root cause. And so it's really valuable to look into these and perhaps understand that we may be able to support these in a different way as well. The lovely thing that we can know is that we do have choices. And so the modern approach generally is just managing the symptoms. There's a lab, they create something to manage the symptoms synthetically, and then the needs, we still have those needs underneath because that root cause hasn't been looked after. And then doTERRA, what they try to do is they address both the needs and the root cause. So they're looking at nature, they're going, what can nature produce for us? They're addressing that situation, and then they're looking after the other needs that come with this. So where that silly black box is right now, it actually mentions that doTERRA, they extract it straight from the plants. It helps to enhance wellness and without side effects. And then they're experts in their field, which I really appreciate. They're not just thinking about profit, they're actually thinking about people. They're thinking about purity, they're thinking about safety, education, transparency. Because so many essential oils out there, about 80% or more essential oils in the market are synthetic, they're adulterated, they are not good quality. And therefore, doTERRA want this to be addressed, really, and they want us to be safe and looked after. And so they get third-party testers to ensure that quality and to make sure that that's going to be beneficial for us and not hurt us. So just a little bit more about doTERRA. So their oils are 100% pure, potent, and effective, and they are done with a certified pure tested grade, meaning that they are exceptional and they get checked to verify their purity. They come from nature, they are not lab made, they don't have adulterations or synthetics. And we can check this, whatever is in our bottle. So I've got my essential oils here to the side of me. And if you've got your doTERRA essential oils, have a little look at the bottom of your bottle, and you should be able to see a little number by the expiry date on it. And that you can type into Source to You, the website, and you'll be able to see and trace the contents of your bottle. You'll be able to see what's inside that. So what are essential oils briefly, because many of you have been to these classes and already are aware of what essential oils, but as a reminder, they are volatile gases. They easily evaporate at normal temperature. So once they're distilled, essential oils easily separate from water and they dissolve easily in oil, which is why we would use carrier oil when using essential oils. And I'll discuss that a little bit later. They can help us to fight discomfort, targeting the root cause and the areas as well, so that we can look after the symptom as well as the cause. And when they're absorbed directly into the bloodstream, which is anything that we put onto our skin, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream. This can have a localized and systemic effect when used topically. That is why it's fascinating, because they are fast and effective. So when using essential oils, here's a few places we might want to test them out and see what works for us, as we are all very different. But how we can find the maximum benefit is by testing these and seeing how we feel. So we may have tension. Perhaps we've got tension in our knees, for example. So we may want to go, okay, we've got tension in our knees. I could put something topically straight on my knee, and that will support that issue right there. But we may need to consider what might be happening under it. So we might think to ourselves, well, what might be the cause of this issue that I'm having with my knee? If you know that cause, you can then find an effective solution for that. And essential oils, because of their chemical compounds, they can help us to figure out that solution, because we need to figure that out. And this is where a wellness advocate is really, really useful, because we've got this experience, we've got this knowledge, we've been doing our education and our research for
Sorry, Emma, you've just gone, I can't hear you anymore. I don't know if everybody else is the same, but your sound has just gone off.
Oh.
Sorry to interrupt you, Pip.
Oh, fine. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange. And are you able to turn up the volume? Just in case. I don't know if Anne will be able to hear me. Could somebody pop that in the chat just in case Anne can't hear me at all, please? Hopefully. Thank you, though, Anne. So again, we could be thinking about
maybe it's just me.
Maybe, maybe. So if you're thinking about what's happening underneath, could it be inflammation? Could it be something else? Then we can look for the oils that may support us in that area, and we'll learn a little bit more. Again, we will have a little look. The one place that I would highly recommend for any issues that we have is the foot. The reason for the feet is because they have the large pores that rapidly absorb anything that's put there. So especially essential oils with carrier oils, the carrier oil will carry it with it, and it will take it through and find the nerves as well, and it will get to that part of the body that we need. So that's where reflex points are incredible. And if you've got your starter guide, which you would have got with your account, then you will be able to see that guide and be able to work with that. And there is a section there that can support the knees and the joints, lower back. There's the spine area. So we use these for my husband regularly. And of course, you can put it on your legs or wherever. So let's start with aromatic use. Aromatic is one of the applications that is powerful. It's so, so powerful. So what we would do is we would get our essential oil. Now I'm going to grab what shall I grab? Let's see. I think I will try cypress. I just happen to have it handy. And you start by inhaling this. So I grab the cypress and you inhale. So that aroma travels to the olfactory nerve and that gets processed. Now the aroma gets processed through the olfactory system, which is responsible for controlling our sense of smell. That olfactory system is then connected to the emotional part of our brain, the limbic system, where emotions and memories are stored in the brain. That limbic system connection then causes this response to this aroma based on memories associated with that scent. So again, I don't know about you, but for me, the smell of pineapple and the taste of pineapple reminds me of my grandparents. And we have no idea why, but my memory takes me right back to England when my grandparents used to live in England before they moved over to Ireland. So I wonder if that's like a memory response because of that, and maybe something my mum didn't even register that I might have had when I was in that house in England. So it's amazing what aroma can really do for us. It gives us that rush, that feeling, and then that gives that emotional response. So whether we like it or not, whether we are cynical about essential oils or not, it's going to happen anyway. They're going to work to spite us. That's what I like to say anyway. So we need to start understanding what this can do to support us and how it can help to target our emotions and allow us to produce this specific response that we need for us, whatever is happening in our body. And again, wellness advocates can support with this as well, until you feel really comfortable and you're working it out yourself. So here we've got peppermint, and I'm going to start with peppermint. I've got a few different options, and I am hoping that this little video is going to work for us.
When I was growing up, we worked 7 days a week. Didn't make any difference what day of the week it was, why it was a work day.
My first memories of farming as a kid were driving combine. As soon as school was out, I was headed home to the farm.
I grew up here. So I was born on the farm. I grew up just in the house next door. When I was growing up, we worked 7 days a week. You go back to school in the fall, and the teacher always wanted you to write your first paper of, what did you do this summer? I didn't have to write very much, like worked every day, and that's just the way it was.
Oh, my dad got started farming when he was a senior in high school. He was renting about 150 acres and just kind of started farming from there. Ended up going into venture with some peppermint.
The reason it's such an honor for us to work with the Donnell family is because they take such pride in what they do. They love growing peppermint, they love harvesting peppermint. You look at this distillery, this is a state-of-the-art distillery. You won't find anything like this anywhere else in the world.
As soon as the trucks start bringing in the tubs, we just watch for when they're going to hook them up and make sure they get the steam going. When the steam comes up to pressure, we've got different buttons here to regulate the steam. And it's just a lot of pacing back and forth in here, watching 16 different bays and making sure it happens right.
This year we're harvesting 520 acres of peppermint, and we're going to plan on doing that at 8.5 days. We're cooking right now about 102 to 103 tubs a day. The Willamette Valley tends to have a more oil that's more sought after than other places in the United States or around the world. And a lot of it just has to do with the climatic conditions here. When the plant starts to bloom, the quality of the oil starts to change. We don't want to end up with oil that's not of the consistency that the consumer wants. Although we could get more oil by letting the plant get more mature, there's a certain time in there where we have the best quality for the maturity.
Because of the care they put into their fields and making sure they're free of weeds, we get the finest peppermint in the world.
We want to be the best in whatever it is that we're doing. So I love it when the wellness advocates come to visit our mint still. It's such a emotional experience to me to be able to talk about something that we are so passionate about, to see the impact of our efforts, of our hard work, through the stories that are then told to us. I know it means a lot to them. And when they share with others about peppermint oil, they know exactly where it came from, and they can be even a stronger advocate for the use of peppermint oil. And you think, wow, we really are making a difference.
So I just love that video because, oh, sorry, I just came out of him and went back in. But I love that video because it just shows you where it starts from and the people that are in the background. It's just such a nice thing, and just a reminder as well that it's not made in a lab with synthetic ingredients in it for a reason, because it's going to be in our bodies. It's going to be affecting our brains. So whatever it is, because that's with food as well, isn't it? It's with everything that we're using. So it's really good to know that this isn't just any ordinary fragrance. This isn't something that's got like nasties in it. And so this is why I thought I'd really like to share that one, especially because I just think it's a really lovely video for that. So for soothing us, if we've got that head tension, or we're needing some support, perhaps we've got some achy bits and we need to massage it, then head tension support. I use peppermint whenever I need to, especially when it's this time of the year and the neighbours have been cutting their grass. And I'm finding that can be quite difficult, so peppermint is wonderful. And one of the tips I would say is be careful not to get it into your eyes. But if you do get it into your eyes, please just wash your hands and then go and get your carrier oil. Especially like fractionated coconut is brilliant because it's unscented, and then you'll be able to just wipe it out of your eyes, and it's wonderful. Using water will actually make it perhaps a bit worse, because it'll just drive it in a bit more. But if we use carrier oil, it's really, really helpful. And then for emotional support, it's really useful because it gives us that joyful feeling, uplifts our mood, and peppermint is well known for that as well. So next then, it also makes a lovely peppermint tea, by the way. Next is a soothing oil, and we've got copaiba. Now, has any of you used copaiba before? And do you mind me asking what it helped with? Because for me, I feel like sometimes it's just our story sometimes, and I'd love to hear more about what it can help others with as well. If you got your camera on your phone, take a screenshot or take a photograph of that QR code, and hopefully the link will come up on your screen. And for later, have a little watch of this video. It discusses, these two doctors discuss the benefits of copaiba versus CBD oil, and you might find that fascinating. So as well, an unexpected bonus that someone recently shared with me, and I absolutely love this, is that this person, they started to take the CP Plus soft gels, which is copaiba and olive oil in little soft gels, and they started to take it to calm tummy and anxious feelings. And they sent me a message to say they just twigged that each time they've been taking it before bed, it solved their nightmare problems. And that's not really something that I would have considered associating it with. But if we think about what it can help with, it works with our nervous systems and it helps to calm things and regulate things. So I guess I shouldn't have been too surprised. We can use this internally. We can also use this aromatically. So diffusing it can really help us with our own feeling of self-worth as well. And it can also help with a restful sleep. And exactly like Deborah said, under the tongue each day can support with inflammation and pain relief. That is brilliant. And yeah, that's exactly how we use it too. We also put it under our tongue as well. And this can help then in periods of stress. And again, we can make our own capsules up with it if we wanted to as well. And we can add it with olive oil or not. I use a little can't remember if it's HPMC or something like that, the type of veggie capsule, but you can check it on dōTERRA store or you can have a look online for those. Again, really lovely for massaging, so physical support. So next, here's a few of the testimonials that I had recently, and I thought I'd share them with you. So our personal one is in the middle in the green, because that's my own message that I put out to my group. But this was something that my husband, with his condition, he has also been finding things quite stressy. So he's been struggling a little bit with that. And this causes this chronic hives around his body, skin issues around his body. And so what he's doing is trying to support that inflammation. We applied copaiba to the pulse points and also to the foot. And I also popped another blend that I've made for him on his other foot that supports him too. We then looked at Serenity Stick, which I will discuss later on, and that helps with calming the nervous system too, and just making sure that the body was just able to rest. He calmed down minutes later. It was amazing how quick it was, and he fell asleep for about 3 or 4 hours after. So it was just incredible, and I had to share it because it was fascinating. A few others have been finding it really useful for skin. A few others have been finding it really useful for hot red puffiness around their joints as well. And it can be really useful and quite soothing. So I thought I would share that too. Also can support with head tension as well.
Yeah, if I'm not connected to audio on there and I'm recording, how will they connect?
Okay. So let's have a look at black pepper. Black pepper is also really useful, and it's got a very similar chemical compound with copaiba. It's called beta-caryophyllene. There's a study that's on that's been done that shows us the neuroprotective effects of this beta-caryophyllene. So again, there is a QR code now. It's a little bit the little black box is there, so I can send that afterwards. But it's really interesting to have a read of that and just to see how it can benefit. A few ideas is by creating a warm, soothing massage using 1 or 2 of this oil. I actually put it in some of my blends to support my husband with his discomfort. And again, there's the using internally, it's with veggie capsules. You can use it with olive oil or MCT, and that can help to support the nervous system and soothe that down. But again, check with your wellness advocate if you've got any questions. For emotional support as well, black pepper, beautiful. So this is great for inhaling, and this is something that we can sometimes do, and it's a really useful one to help us just feel comfortable. Comfortable in our own skin, which is lovely. So this one has to be mentioned, of course, because this is my husband's favorite. Deep Blue is his absolute favorite, and it's because it's so soothing, and it can support muscles, and it can help with any aches, and it's wonderful as well for children or teenagers who might have those growing aches as well. So it's a really handy one to have, especially that Deep Blue rub or the stick. The stick is wonderful. The stick has got copaiba and the Deep Blue blend in it, and I'll share about that next. But that Deep Blue blend is just a wonderful soothing one, gorgeous in the bath as well as an oil. So here is deep blue. And deep blue can benefit us physically, but it can also benefit us emotionally. So physically, it can support the physical tension that we might have, or the discomfort that we might have. And if you've had a really wonderful experience, please share that in the chat. I would love to hear that. Again, I've got a little tip. Be careful not to get it into your eyes. It's quite a potent blend and really, really supportive. It can soothe those muscles and joints and aches. And we use a few drops in an Epsom salt bath as well. But what's amazing for me is the emotional benefit of deep blue. So it can support and release hurt feelings. It can promote commitment and strength. There was an incident that we had recently, and I don't know why, but I just picked up the blend and said to one of my family members, here, try and just smell this. And it was the perfect blend. It actually helped in a moment of panic to calm that feeling down, because they were really deep emotions that were there. And it was able to help process those emotions. And it's just not to underestimate that aroma, that aroma that can just help the brain find a better pattern, or be able to process those emotions and support. And all it is one drop in your hand, rub it together, and inhale from the cupped hands. So this is my favorite, my husband's favorite. He did say to me one night, if I could marry the deep blue stick, I would. It cracks me up every time, but he really did say it. But what I love now is that I'm hearing other people come back to me saying, I can now see why Dan loves it so much. And that's just lovely. It's really nice to hear. It's not just helping us, but it's helping others. Nikki recently told me that it was a game changer, and that from certain times of the month, which us women do go through, to painful knees and other areas from her chronic illness, it makes a difference when traveling, and it's easy to walk around with. It's easy to have in your bag. It doesn't have an oily residue or anything like that. It's quite simple to apply as well. So it's something that she uses and takes on holidays too. We do also. Here is a soothing bath soap. Now, if you want, again, I will send the slide on after because of that stupid black box. But if you do want to screenshot that, that's fine too. The oils that it mentions are copaiba, lavender, and frankincense, where the black box is. But again, my top tip when doing a bath soak is to add the carrier oil. Now, I actually have some here just to show you if you can see me. But carrier oil, pop it into your jar. Now, this is a cup-sized jar that I have here, and I use it for doing my measures. So putting the carrier oil here, maybe 2 to 3 tablespoons inside there first. Then adding your essential oils in there. So again, depending on your dilution, because of the guide that you've got in the starter guide, and then top that up then with your Epsom salts or your magnesium flakes. The fascinating thing that I found out recently as well is that the magnesium flakes versus Epsom salts, it does matter. And so I try to put both in, because the Epsom salts in general will be supportive. They're a different type of magnesium. I think they're sulfate, if I remember correctly. Yep. Whereas the magnesium flakes are actually chloride, and they do different things. And I think this one is more bioavailable, so it will really support the skin and support the body more, the flakes. And it is important to get ones that are checked and tested and are also responsibly sourced, very much like the oils too. Because it's important that they get tested for purity and then not something that are going to hurt us. Again, the spa-like one that we made recently was Siberian fir, cypress, and frankincense. It was dreamy, but it also supported his muscles and calmed everything down. And we're nearly there. But the chill pill. So the chill pill, again, the dilutions are more personal to you and to myself or to my family. So again, definitely check out the dilution guide in the starter guide, or talk to your wellness advocate about that. For us personally, we may put maybe 2 drops of each or 3 drops of each into the diffuser. But this is beautiful, calming. Then when it comes to the capsules, again, it's a personal thing as well. Some people may not feel comfortable and other people may feel comfortable. And so it's working out the dilutions again and how many drops would be suitable for you. So definitely something to discuss. But for us, the Copaiba soft gels are really convenient, so easy to use, and you can just buy that in your doTERRA store. Get that 25% off with your account and you're sorted. And when we run out, while we're waiting for our next order, I can often just add 2 drops into a little veggie capsule, and the olive oil is optional depending on how you personally can take that. There is an ebook as well if you do discuss it with your wellness advocate. When you've got your own account, it's handy to refer to that regarding internal if you do wish to try that. And we've got lavender, and I'm just conscious of my battery here. So just check it's okay. So lavender, one of my favorite lavenders, actually is my favorite lavender because excuse me, because it's so pure and potent, but it's powerful. So you only need that 1 or 2 drops and you are golden, especially with carrier oil too. Putting it on my feet is wonderful before night. I inhale it as well before in the evening, and I often put it on my skin with my fractionated coconut oil as well. And it's known for reducing the overwhelm and calming the mind and the body. And again, there is a video QR code there. It's brilliant. It's so, so good. It's asking the question, is this lavender worth the hype? And again, if you've got a lavender experience, I'd love to hear it. It's honestly my favorite because it helped me break my sleep patterns. I was having at least 2 sleepless nights every week for a long time. And then I was able, because of this lavender, to get it down to 2 per month. And honestly, I'm thrilled. Quite often, I don't even have those days now. But when I do, I know what I can use to help me. So I really appreciate that. And I pop it in most of my roller bottles. I often add it to the blends that help with discomfort too. And then it's definitely one I would diffuse with lavender. This lavender too, by the way, can be taken internally as well. And here, how we relax. So I love this testimonial on the right-hand side. There's 2 of them and they're brilliant. I couldn't decide which was my favorite. So one of them, one of their daughters, has particularly found it helpful when it comes to her sleep. It is her go-to. She now uses it independently. She keeps taking it. This isn't the first teenager that does this. I know of another teenager who absolutely loves this, and actually her mother had to go and get another one for herself because this teenager had kept it in her room. Again, this teenager also deals with joint pain as well, and has found Deep Blue Stick has become a staple in her routine. So I just loved hearing that, and it's so nice to hear. Then another testimonial was the Serenity Stick has made a huge difference to this couple. When they wake up during the night, usually they go back to sleep faster than normal. And they've noticed a difference when they don't use it. And I'm the exact same. I notice a huge difference if I've forgotten to use it. And then lavender, sometimes they add it on to the Serenity Stick. So you can literally just pop a little drop, 1 drop on top of the stick, and it's beautiful. Again, there are soft gels. They have a different types of oils inside it. They're not the same as the Serenity oil, but very similar. Some of them in there, very similar. And again, really supportive for helping in stressy moments. But the places I would apply would be on the foot, pulse points, back of neck, temples, before bed, about a half an hour before bed. You can even diffuse a half an hour before bed as well. And that would really be supportive. And one place I would recommend checking out is the dōTERRA blog. Brilliant for all this kind of extra information. And I pulled some little research on how we could reduce these stressful feelings we might be having. So with physical health, studies have shown that mindfulness for nurses who are on the brink of burnout can really be supportive, and it can help decrease blood pressure and enhance immune function and potentially decrease stress and burnout in nurses by supporting them in their emotions with regulation and increasing their compassion for themselves and for others by using these techniques of mindfulness. And mindfulness can be many different things. Meditation can be many different things. It doesn't have to be certain ways that we might be used to seeing on the internet or people discussing. It could literally just be gratitude, showing gratitude, starting a journal, perhaps appreciating the good things. Perhaps it could also just be having 5 minutes to ourselves and sitting down and thinking, okay, thinking of good things, thinking of 3 things that might have helped us that day, or 3 things we're appreciating. And if you'd like to see an article that talks about maintaining an appreciative attitude, that I found a beautiful one that really benefits and helps in that feeling, and it's been something I've been working with myself. For mental health, this is one that is a huge thing in my family for many different reasons: postnatal depression, anxiety. We've also lost a family member to depression, and so for us this is really important to support, and it comes down to brief daily meditation could really support us and enhance attention, memory, mood, emotional regulation, and therefore help us with our mental clarity and even creativity, which I thought was fascinating. So it just shows how important it is. And let's not be daunted. This is a lot of stuff, isn't it? And how on earth can we find those moments? So my absolute personal recommendation for someone who finds it difficult to stick with things at times because of overwhelm is start small. Keep a journal. Educate yourself and connect with others. You are not on your own, and we are not on our own, especially not when it comes to this, if this is new for us. And what I love is that you are definitely not left alone, because you've got all these things. You've got a starter guide, you've got classes, we've got different graphics that can really help us, so we all feel really equipped. Access to resources and support, free online courses, and even paid courses too if we wanted to go that little bit deeper. We've got access to experienced people who are using these essential oils on a daily basis. And we've also got access to dōTERRA as well, which is wonderful. So we get training as wellness advocates, and then we can pass on that information. But we're also using it on ourselves. So we're benefiting ourselves too. And how lovely is that we can share that moment with each other. Now, here's just an example of one of the graphics I found really useful, and that is the top 10 core oils and their uses. And then there's an extra 5 then that help emotionally, and that includes the copaiba there, which is really good, and the serenity too. These would be the ones that I would say, if you had any essential oils, this would be enough. This would certainly be enough for us. It's nice though, because when the body needs a few changes sometimes after a while of using something, it is nice to have an option. But within these 15, these are wonderful. And there are other oils too as well, of course, that could be really beneficial for us personally. But these definitely are, as Deborah's just said, the foundational oils. These are the ones that if you were to have any oils and we were to recommend anything, this would be perfect for an emotional support, hormonal support, physical support, and all of that in between to help us, and perhaps our discomfort supporting us in relaxing and soothing as well. And a little sneak peek at 2 of the little protocols that I use with my husband for helping him. These things, now obviously this graphic is March, so I've just forgotten to change that to April. But again, it just shows you that all of those oils here are in this protocol, including then the coconut oil too, which is supportive. But again, there are offers this month, so reach out to whoever invited you, your wellness advocate or your contact, and find out what the offer is. Now this month the offer is amazing. If you're, for example, getting a certain starter kit, you'll actually get £50 worth back in points to be able to spend the next month. So if you were just to get the top 10, for example, then you could get the top 10 and then you get 50 quid back for next month, and you could get a couple of the other oils as well that I mentioned. So it's really interesting. 50 quid getting back would be wonderful, wouldn't it? And that's layering the essential oils, by the way, is powerful, because when we layer them, the chemical compounds, they are reacting to each other. And when we do them in that specific order, it can support that body system. And there are many protocols to help with many issues. So I'm going to stop the record, please, and then we can open up to any